In this video, we're going to talk about known Forex scams to avoid. Stay tuned. Hey traders, a very warm welcome to you. Okay, so Forex can be a really shady place to be involved in. There are a lot of scams out there, and I've highlighted a couple, and we'll talk about in this video, that you've got to avoid. So if you're new to Forex, definitely watch this. Even if you've been trading it for a while, this is still worth watching so that you can either inform your friends or yourself don't get caught out by this kind of stuff. There are more out there, but these are the main ones. All right, so Forex, I've done another video before talking generally about the industry and the trading industry, and we've got kind of the real seedy side of it, and then we've got all the way up to the obvious institution side of it and money flowing around and the real kind of difference between the two. But this is specifically for Forex and to watch out for these kind of scams, because these are happening day in, day out, and people are getting caught out by them. So the first one is the money managing service, or I say managing money service. This is where you'll have somebody on the social media or on the forums or in a bar or somewhere kind of where he's hanging out with traders, and he or she will say, hey, you know what I'm really doing really well as a trader, I'm making lots of money, why don't you put some money in with me and I'll manage it for you and I will make you X% return, or I'll make you X amount of money back on your investment. And he sounds like he knows what he's talking about and this and the other. And actually, just to digress very slightly, guys, you know, traders, people can sound like they know what they're talking about quite easily, but you know, the difference between that and making money is kind of a big leap between the two. So if someone sounds really good, he's really slick, he's got that sort of patter about him, and he says, oh, you know what, I'll manage money for you, be careful, avoid it at all costs. You know, obviously there are proper money management services out there. There are hedge funds, there are investment vehicles that are properly regulated. It's a proper structure, and you can look at their past performance, you can analyze it, you can see the hidden risk, you can talk to the manager. Sometimes, obviously, if it's a really big firm, not. But you can do that, and that's a proper legitimate way of doing it. But if there's one guy who says, you know what, I'll trade for you, be very, very cautious, because you know, it's not really beneficial generally for traders, successful traders, to trade a single person's money, apart from the fact that there's a legislative issue with that. If someone's giving, say, you know, 10,000, 20,000, and they're giving a couple of profits, it doesn't make much sense. They're better off going to a prop firm and saying, hey, it's my performance, can I manage some money? Or, you know, setting up a fund if they're got a little bit more money behind them. So be very careful about that money management service guy who says he's really, really good at trading, and if you just give him a bit of money, he'll manage it for you. Avoid that one. So that's the first one. The second one is fake brokers. Now, this is a big one, and it surprises me this is still going on, but it is still going on. And there's generally a few different things we've got to watch out for in this. The first one is that they're not regulated, okay? In the UK, you can go to the FCA website and navigate through, and you can type in the company name, and it will show you the registration number. It will show you all their kind of brands they've got. If they're a bigger company, they've got sub brands, a spread betting, CFD, different kind of you know, trading as brands, and it will say they're regulated. So they're regulated because they have to have a certain amount of assets on board. The people running it have to be regulated and of good standing. Loads of kind of criteria, box ticking. It's a good thing to have, and it means that if you're not regulated, you're kind of operating under the radar. You're operating probably from a country where it doesn't matter too much. You maybe haven't got the financial standing or the credibility to get regulated, which is why they're operating under a non-regulated status. So avoid not regulated brokers, guys. Very, very important. There's no reason whatsoever to go with a non-regulated firm. They might try and attract you with ridiculous offers to get you on board, but you know, I've heard stories of people can't get their money out, disappearing. It's just not even worth getting involved in it. You know, stick with the regulated firms. A clone of a regulated firm, that's another one, a common one actually you see. It's a very similar name. So there might be a regulated firm out there, let's say Intertrader, for example, very reputable broker, very good standing, you know, one of our recommended brokers on this channel. But someone might set up a site that calls themselves, you know, Lintertrade or something. You get the point. Slight variation, very, very similar, just to capture lots of people's money, assuming it's a main site, do lots of advertising and marketing, and then pull the rug. So, and they'll obviously use the FCA number that Intertrader have got, or whoever the broker there is copying, and it will make it appear as if they're genuine, but they're not. So you've got to be very careful about that as well. The other one to watch out for is the fake regulation website. You might see a company setting up, any kind of company, XYZ spread betting, XYZ CFDs, and they'll have kind of a little bottom saying regulated here. You click it, but then it goes to another website that they've built themselves. It's not actually FCA site or wherever you're based in the world watching this. It'll be their own site, and they'll be listed on there. It will look very legitimate, but it's not actually a legitimate site. So be very, very careful of that. Like I say, guys, Intertrader is the company that we recommend. Obviously, there are others out there, plenty of legitimate brokers out there, but these guys are good. You know, they're doing a great job of keeping the spreads nice and tight. Good platform stability, owned by big company, regulated, ticking loads and loads of boxes. So check them out if you haven't got a broker yet. Okay, number 3 is robots. Now, little caveat here, I'm not saying that all automated trading is a scam. By no means, that's not what I'm saying at all. Automated trading can be very, very profitable, lots of funds running it, lots of retail traders running automating strategies, making money, great. But these kind of robots that are advertising, they're all looking like, they're like fruit machine adverts. You see, you know, they go ka-ching, ka-ching, and they're saying, oh, 200 pips here, and then they 300 pips down, and it's a real kind of advertised in that manner. Just watch out. Maybe they've had a good run, maybe, you know, there's a little pockets of performance in there, as you would get if you were tossing a coin, but on the whole, you know, you need to avoid these kind of things. If you had an algorithm that was running very, very well and very, very profitably, you would probably, instead of trying to sell the algo, you would probably more likely go and try and get some funds, proper funds to manage the algo. Now, not to say you wouldn't if you had, as I say, these aren't all scams. There are some people who have algorithms and maybe they want to raise some money and they're saying, hey, it's X pounds per month. You can kind of have these signals that are generated and we're trying to build some money for our own capital. You know, that's fine. But just be very cautious about these robots. Have a look at the track record, speak to the guys running it before you kind of part with any meaningful cash. And if they've got a trial period, you know, by all means do that, as long as you're not committed, you're not, just be very cautious when approaching, I guess is the thing to say. And the final thing, number 4 here, is spread manipulation. Not so much anymore, especially regulated firms, they can't really get away with it, but you've got to be careful with the unregulated guys, which is why, you know, just stay away from unregulated. And also years ago, this would happen. You go in and the spread will kind of be widened out, narrowed. Now, of course, even with regulated firms, they do adjust the spread for times, but they're very, very clear on that. They kind of say, okay, between normal trading hours, it'll be this, and then after hours, it'll be wider. And that's fair enough because the underlying market is less liquid and they kind of have to cover themselves a bit. Fine. But what this is when, you know, they know they've got a lot of people in a particular instrument or whatever, and they might kind of widen the spread to make it really difficult for you to get out or to cost you a lot of money to get out. They might, you know, widen the spread in the middle of the night to try and ping off some stops. You know, that kind of game. You're trying to get into a trade, they won't let you get in. All these horrible things that they do. But generally, unregulated guys that are doing this, if you stick with a regulated firm that's kind of got a lot of money flowing into it, a lot of customers, a lot of clients, a lot of activity, then this isn't going to happen. You know, but just be careful of this. So have a look at the broker you're currently trading with. Just check they are regulated. Just check they are well known. Just do your due diligence. If there's a problem with it, then, you know, you need to consider changing. If you haven't kind of gone out there yet and put real money on the line, maybe using a demo, again, just make sure before you put real money in there, these guys are regulated. So watch out for the regulated fake broker scam. Watch out for that money management service scam. Be cautious of robots. And spread manipulation won't apply as long as you pick a regulated firm. All right, guys, hope that helps. Pass this on to somebody who's new at trading, or if you know they're with some sort of dodgy broker and they need to kind of be advised, hey, don't lose all your money, because I've just heard horrible stories of guys making money with these brokers and then just not being able to withdraw it, being told, oh, you need more ID, you need this, you need that, just basically string them along. And when it comes down to it, they lost all their money, completely unregulated, they've got no comeback. So it pays to be wise. All right, guys, good trading. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.